You're listening to the Mind Your Business podcast, episode number 87. Today, we're talking all about how to actually accomplish your friggin' goals. So, stay tuned. Hi, I'm James Wedmore, and I've built a 7-figure internet business that offers the financial freedom to do what I want, when I want. And I'm the first to say that hard work and hustle are not essential ingredients for your success. So, how do you build a thriving business from the inside out? This is the Mind Your Business podcast, featuring myself and co-host Phoebe Mroczek. Hey, how's it going? James Wedmore here, and welcome to the Mind Your Business podcast. I'm doing a very, very special bonus Wednesday episode for you. So thank you so much for tuning in, checking out the latest episode. Appreciate your listening and your support. So we are going to talk today about how to take that number that you write down on a piece of paper, maybe on your vision board or your whiteboard, that number, that elusive number that for me, I just remember remained so elusive for so long, and how to actually turn that into a result. Like cash in the bank, el banco, right? Because I can remember these times where I would, look, I told you guys I got really into the deep end of the woo-woo pool there and still am. But to me, it's really about a blend of both, of left brain and right brain, of manifesting intention and the spiritual and the physical, the action, the plan. For me, I mean, I can only speak to myself. The more I balance and integrate the both, the better. But I just remember for so long, this number, I'd put it on my bathroom mirror. I'd put it on the bulletin board. I'd make it my screensaver on my phone. And I remember looking at that number, and it seemed so elusive, so far off, so not just unattainable. The unattainable to me means I doubt that I could even do it. It was, I just didn't know how. And that's because money in itself is this very intangible, well, what is it? And this is where we talk about this concept of creating money on demand. Once you unlock what I'm going to share with you today, it is truly going to feel like you can create money on demand. This isn't some hypey, get-rich-quick promise. Look, we've said it before, if you want to make more money, reach more people, and solve bigger problems. We're just going to give you a plan for how to do that today. But first, I kind of want to update you because it's been a while. Phoebe and I batched a whole heck of a lot of episodes back in January. And as I'm recording this, there's been so many updates. The first of which is that Team Wedmore has moved. We just got a new office about a month ago. And we literally moved about a block and a half away. So it hasn't been that far of a move, but it definitely has been an upgrade. We're now in quite a substantial bit of a larger place, which I'm really excited about. Gives us a little bit more space. That was actually the primary reason for moving, is because we hired a few new people at the start of this year and it got really crowded really fast. So we're in a new space with more room. It's also right on PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, for those people who ever drive through Laguna Beach. So we have this massive ocean view, beautiful ocean view right from the office, like right from my desk as well. And there's a deck. There's this outdoor patio space. And today especially, like the weather is just amazing. It's beautiful. And I share this because your environment is like 90% of this. Your environment is so important. I first discovered this lesson myself when I spent a year in New York City. Now, for anybody who's been to New York, anybody who lives there or has lived there, we all know, like everyone talks about the energy of the city that doesn't sleep. Literally, there are so many extraordinary people living there, up to so many extraordinary things. So I decided to pack up in 2012 and move my butt to New York. And in a nutshell, here's what happened. I became a massive workaholic. I burnt out so fast because I was working like 14-hour days. I just couldn't stop. I was so inspired, so motivated, and so go that I didn't have the balance in my life anymore. I lost the balance. I became all about action and doing, right? I said integrating the two. And everyone's got their own balance. You know, people say you need balance, the yin and yang, but everyone creates their own balance because we're not all created with the same energy. You know, some people are really laid back and some people are super intense human beings. So, you know, you need an environment that facilitates you. And for me, that was too much. I didn't need any more inspiration. I'm already an action taker. It's my default nature to be hardworking. So I didn't need that. I needed the opposite, which is why we talk about it so much on this podcast. It was so important to me to have the rest as a part of this for me, the balance. And so I just remember when I came back to Laguna Beach, I had such a deeper love and appreciation for this town that I grew up in. And I remember making that decision after New York. This is where I'm going to build my life and my business and one day family. So it's really because it gave me another sense of balance. It was the environment that I needed. And, you know, so whether it's your office, your workplace, your hometown, your city, don't ignore the importance of environment. Is it inspiring you? Is it lighting you up? Is it there to facilitate what you need? Or is it lonely? And, you know, are you surrounded by people that aren't really doing much? It's so important to put yourself in that space, and you're not going to get it right off the bat. But I will tell you, being in New York and then being in Laguna Beach, holy cow, I was personally affected by that environment. And it's so important, so crucial. So anyways, that's that. We got a new office, but it's also been an extraordinarily fun month as well that I'll be probably talking about this for a few episodes. So deal with it. We spent the whole month of March working on a brand new video series, which I am so excited about, because I remember a few years ago talking to a friend of mine when I was kind of just like really getting in the groove of my business. It was about 2012 as well. And I was making videos every week and making money. And I'm just sitting there laughing, going like, I'm getting paid to make stupid videos. I mean, I couldn't be happier. And then, of course, you know, you grow up a little bit and your business keeps growing. You bring on people like a wife and a team, and you got to put your big boy pants on and be the CEO and stuff. And I didn't get to just play around making goofy videos as much as I wanted to. And I didn't want to lose that. Believe it or not, I am a super creative person. Like even in like high school and stuff, I was getting the art awards and stuff. I love drawing and painting and creating anything artistically. And video was definitely the ultimate medium for me, hence why building a business around video. And for the past month, I've gotten the chance to hook up with one of my old videographers, Ryan Say, and just spend a month doing the most fun, creative, and intense video work that we've ever done, just to put together something that we're like, wow, what would it look like to go all in and give it everything we have? It challenged me mentally, emotionally, physically, for sure. But what kept me going was how much fun I was having, how much like the balance between like enjoying this because it's so much part of my passion, it's utilizing my creativity, and also that it's like, and it's aligned with growing the business. Like it's also marketing, and it's just like, oh my goodness, the more I can find that sweet spot and stay in that sweet spot, the happier I am. And I think we all have that sweet spot. You know, I invite all of you to be infusing your creativity and your everyday life passions with your business passion of helping and impacting and inspiring. I think everyone wants to help. I think everyone wants to inspire others at some level. And when you can do it with the things that light you up, like your whatever, you know, inspires your creativity, I think there's a beautiful sweet spot there. And that's what we got to do. So we're going to be talking more about this video series. If you've been following me on Instagram, we storied the whole darn thing, like 10 to 15 Instagram stories a day, just kind of showing the behind the scenes, and people just been replying, giving amazing feedback. So we're wrapping up the month now, but it's worth checking out on Instagram. Anywho, let's get into this quick bonus episode, which is all about not goal setting. Goal setting, we'll get over that real quick, but we'll get into like actually getting the results that you put out there from a goal. And it's really, really simple. And we've got an amazing little freebie for you here today, a little tool that I think you're going to love that we'll get into in a minute. But let's talk about what is the point of a goal? What is the goal of a goal? Really? And here's what it is not. A goal is not something that defines you. A goal is not something that identifies your self-worth. It is not a part of you. It is not your identity. It does not become your identity. You are not measured by the level at which you accomplish your goals, and I cannot stress this enough. Your self-worth as a human being is not measured by your ability to accomplish goals. If you believe that, stop it. That is total BS. And here's why it's BS. Because you're the one creating the goal in the first place. So this goal-setting thing just screws so many people up so fast because you're the one setting a goal, and you either do one of two things. You either set one too low, and then you get all in your head and say that you're limiting yourself, or you set it too high, and then you don't hit it, and now you call yourself a failure. But you set the goal. So it's like you're creating this game that you're going to lose. It's like literally inventing a board game where you can't win. That is so silly, and we got to knock it off. So what is a goal? We have to even look or redefine the word goal in the first place before I can continue in this conversation. A goal is simply the indicator for the game that you are going to create. That is it. If you're going to do a launch, a promotion, a project, whatever, and you create goals for it, it just identifies the level at which you need to show up. Are you playing like a peewee football game, or are you going into the pros? Are you playing a light, small, fun game, or are you going all in? And the thing is why does it have to be the biggest? Why does it have to be better than everybody else? What does that say about you if all you're trying to do is outdo everybody else? Why does that matter? One of my favorite things is we always set a goal for everything we do is running these light and easy promotions and offers where we make a couple thousand here or there with like 2 emails. And you know what? I'll choose those 9 times out of 10. It's like, yeah, we sent out 2 emails, did this thing, made $6,000, made $15,000. You know, that's light and it's easy. That's the game I chose to play there. Why does everything have to be the biggest? Why does everything have to be better than everybody else? It doesn't. It's your game, and you get to choose. So what game are you going to choose? Okay? So that's what a goal is. Does that make sense? A goal is just an indicator of the game you want to play. You want to play a bigger game, create a bigger goal. And then it allows you to determine what you need to do or how you need to show up to play that game. If we want to do a $10,000 promo, which is like a really light, low-end goal for us at this stage, at this level, it's like, great, okay, I need to just write a couple emails and we're good. Like, it doesn't take very much of me at this point. But it's like, okay, we want to have a 7-figure launch. Okay, I got to step up in a way I've never stepped up before. Why? Because I've never done a 7-figure launch before. Okay, so that's it. If I didn't hit the goal, it doesn't matter. What matters is, did I step up? Did I say or do what I said I was going to do? Did I do what I said I was going to do? And did I play all out? Did I play at the level of that goal? Now, most people, this is going to go over your head. You're listening to this and you're saying, oh, that sounds good. Yeah. And you're going to go about your business and you're going to still let goals run your life and ruin your life, really. But someone's going to get this, and it's going to land for someone. The goal is just to measure how you need to show up. It indicates how you show up. And there's nothing wrong with running a light and easy promotion where you just say, hey, you know what? I'd like to make $1,000 with 2 hours of work. That's awesome. That's a great goal right there, right? Or 30 minutes of work, okay? So that's all possible. Now, one of the things that we do next is we do 3 goals. Maybe you've heard this before. We call it the hairy, scary, audacious goal. That's the first goal. This is the goal that you ask the question, what's the number that if I shared it with others, they'd think I'm crazy? What's the number that people would think I'm insane? Right? And that's your big stretch goal. That's where you go, that's my crazy goal. It's always nice to have that. And then you have your goal, which what we call, the wimpy goal, but you can call it whatever you want. Safety goal, whatever. That's what's the minimum that I would need to hit in order for me to still be happy, to still be content with this promotion. And you put that down. You go low with that, like the least amount. Well, I just want to break even. I don't want to lose money on this one. Okay, great. Put that down. And then you find the number somewhere in the middle that's like the sweet spot, middle of the road. There's your 3 goals. So step number 1, create or redefine what it means to set goals. It doesn't have anything to do with defining you. You're not less of a human because you didn't hit your last goal. That's stupid. Knock it off. Step number 2, identify your 3 goals. And then step number 3, identify who you need to be and what it's going to take from you and how you need to show up in order to align with those goals. You do that, you're unstoppable. That might be what it takes. You being unstoppable. Show me unstoppable. Show me what it looks like to be unstoppable. Are you going to let one email from some negative person that comes in and said, this is stupid, you're spamming, you're going to let that stop you? Because an unstoppable person wouldn't. You identify who you need to be and how you need to show up that is in the same level as those goals. And you act from there. But there's something else you're going to need. Remember I said that these goals for me, you write it down. Yes, do all that stuff, write it down, do your manifestations, put your intentions into your crystals, all that awesome stuff. But what you need, because for me it was like, how do I get that number on that whiteboard into my bank account? You got to have a plan. No result is possible without action. It doesn't matter how many times you close your eyes and see it. It is about taking inspired action. Actions lead to results. A plan is simply a series of action steps. You know that, right? So that's what you need. You need a plan. Okay, so you take the goals into the plan. So what is the plan for hitting this revenue? And what you really need is a launch or promotional plan. That's it. There are several ways to do this. Everyone says it's the way, right? Like everyone says you got to do a web. If you're not doing webinars, no, it's just one of many plans. You can do a webinar, you could do a challenge, you could do a video series, you could do an email promotion, you could just do one video, sales video, you could do a funnel, you could do, there's so many plans. What happens is people choose like half of 4 plans and then don't execute on any of them. You need one plan. So a great example that I always like to start with is a webinar. A webinar is a great plan or a webinar launch where you could take your goal and actually turn it into money in the bank. So you would need a plan of how to do that with a webinar. Well, that's easy. I'd need to invite people to register for the webinar, and then I need people to attend the webinar. And then once they're on the webinar, I need to make an offer on the webinar. Okay, and then if people bought, well, now we're starting to see I'm making sales. I'm getting closer to my goal. Okay, so then we use the second habit from Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and we begin with the end in mind, and we work backwards. Because here's what next happens. If you were to write down all the steps of your plan from step 0 to step 72 or step 12, what people do, especially as the first time they've executed on a plan, they spend 95% of their efforts on the first few steps. And then they lose passion and interest, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to start with the last steps. Begin with the end in mind, because those are the steps, those like steps 11, 12, and 13, the last steps. Those are the ones that are the 5%. The 5% of activities that generate 95% of the results, guaranteed, hands down, every time. So you begin there and you work backwards. And you have a launch plan. Now, before you begin to take action on the launch plan, you need what I call IOPS, or indicators of performance. There's, people call them all kinds of things like KPIs and stuff like this. But every phase or step has mini goals within the plan that correlate to the goal. And that is our goal, to overuse that word, with goal setting, is to be able to go from a number on a piece of paper to a series of action items that say you either did it or you didn't. So we'll use the webinar example. This is going to land on such a deep level for you because I'm going to give you a cool tool in a moment, give you a little backdoor to this thing. So basically, if you started with a goal of $10,000, okay, I want to make $10,000, great. Well, you got to sell something. right? Winning the lottery isn't a plan, okay? So let's say you're going to sell a $1,000 product. Well, great. Now you know that you have a $1,000 product. You're going to have to sell 10 of those. Still with me, right? Got to sell 10 units of a $1,000 product to make $10,000. Okay, so now it's like, and that's how we're working backwards, right? From the sale level. 10 people purchase a $1,000 product from you. So now what we need to do is we need to create these indicators of performance. And for a webinar, well, look at the steps again of the plan. Well, I need to get people to register, and I need to get people to attend, and then I need to get people to buy. So these are our 3 indicators. So do you get 10 people to register, 10 people to attend, and then 10 will buy? No, it doesn't work that way. The chances of you having 10 people register for a webinar, all 10 of them attending, and all 10 of them buying is very, very low. And especially if you've never done a webinar before, or you're very inexperienced with this, it's just not going to happen. I'm not trying to be negative. I am trying to be a little realistic. But there is a formula to figure out exactly how many people you would need to register for said webinar so that you could get 10 sales. Wouldn't that be nice? Well, that's exactly what we've included for you in this episode. This is what I call a webinar launch calculator. If you knew your goal and the price of your product, it'll spit out how many people you need registered, how many people you need to attend, and how many people need to buy on the webinar, after the webinar, and how much you would need to spend on Facebook ads if you were going to use Facebook ads to invite people for the webinar. How freaking cool is that? So you can just plan the entire launch out. And then once you know how many people need to register and attend and buy, you create all your action steps around those 3 indicators of performance. What am I going to do to get people register? What am I going to do to get these people to attend? What am I going to do to get these people to buy? That is it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you go from this esoteric, elusive goal on a piece of paper, on your whiteboard, on your corkboard, on your vision board, into a very specific plan. And a lot of times this is just what we need. We just need to be told exactly what to do and focus on the right things. And these are the right things right there. If you were doing a webinar, it doesn't have to be a webinar in order to be a plan. You could just do I want to do an email promotion. Great. What would the indicators of performance be for that? You see how this works? So powerful. This puts you back in the driver's seat of goal setting. Okay? So to get your hands on this powerful calculator, so you don't have to do any of the nerdy math yourself, you literally just punch in 2 numbers. What's your goal? What's your product price? It'll spit out all the data you need for you. Head on over to jameswedmore.com/calculator. Just make sure you spell it right. Okay? And I'm going to give you that calculator absolutely free. It's so important as the CEO, as the business owner, as the visionary, that you're not only just setting big goals, but that you're creating a plan from that goal so you identify the right action items that will get you those results. And remember, goal setting is literally about setting up the game that you are about to play and what it's going to take from you. That's it. There are goals we don't hit all the time, but it's not a breakdown for me. It's actually where our biggest lessons are learned. And I invite you to play bigger games and learn some big-ass lessons. I'm James Wedmore. Thank you so much for listening to the Mind Your Business podcast. I'll talk to you next time. Are you a coach, course creator, or online influencer looking for an easier way to expand your reach, help more people, and get paid while you do it? I've built a multiple 7-figure business around my content, courses, memberships, and mastermind. And I'm going to give you the exact processes that show you how I did it. So if you currently feel stuck, stagnant, overwhelmed, or coursed the F out, this is the training that's going to graduate you from student mode into action mode. To join the party, absolutely free, simply visit www.jameswedmore.com/go.